Okay, chapter 7, the plain pine box. Uh, I think that, I think that was so we're seeing the, the trend here towards simplicity, towards, I guess being smart about money, because it is for a burial. There's no reason to be crazy elaborate. And even the trend towards being more environmentally conscious. Although I think this guy with the pine box idea was maybe a little ahead of his time. Well, no, I guess not. I guess maybe more going back to his roots, really, since that's like with the home funeral also. But the simplicity of just, I think he was, he talked about, I don't know if his pine boxes were coffins, because that chapter talked about coffins also. So it talked about the shape changing and the rectangle. At any rate, I did not know that coffins could be furniture, like a desk, or that seems bizarre to me, I must say. Okay, I'm just gonna write on this beautiful desk that's going to house my body one day. I don't know. It seems weird. It would be really morbid to my daughter. My daughter would think something like that is the craziest thing in the world. Ex-husband would probably be more amenable to it than Ariana, but yeah, we're old, so. That chapter it's a little easier for me sometimes to read some of these stories when it's older people, because you feel like, they've at least lived a full life. Although I personally think that death is too soon, no matter how old the person is. But it's because I've had enough of it. But it was really sad for me that, his wife, he just loved her so much, and she went before him, and it was really hard for him. So this coffin that had been kept in the garage, I think it was the garage or the basement garage, he ended up putting his wife in it. Burying his wife in it, and then he went back and got picked out another one for himself, and ended up selling his, I think it was this guy, and ended up selling his house to his daughter. Maybe that was a different one. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna pause you so I go to the next. Anyway, that chapter was, I like the pine box idea. I like the plain, like, it's just gonna house a body. And if it has to go in a casket, why should it be something elaborate? But to each his own. Okay, I'm going to pause you. Okay, yeah, the backyard burial. Well, this was a hard chapter. I don't know that I could do that. I'm not sure about a few of these just because part of the reason that I did cremation and didn't get a niche for Brennan's ashes are because I didn't want to. I knew I'd feel like I could never leave the state. I would never be able to leave where Brennan was buried, even though, again, I know where Brennan is and it's not actually in the ground. But, so having somebody buried in the backyard, I know these people own, they're not going anywhere. And, it's their land, and it's, even if he left, it's land he could hike up to, or, but I don't know. I think I might be consumed with spending too much time there. Or maybe not. Maybe I'd just learn to, eventually you have to live your life, I guess. I think it was really nice how the friends, how the friends were involved with caring for Sharon, was that her name? Or was that the one before? Well, it was really nice how the friends were involved with getting the site, with caring for the wife. And choosing how he chose the site. Well, she chose it, but it's a couple of chapters that are similar where it's almost like God's telling them, but whatever their beliefs are, it's like, okay, they know this is the spot, and then, wow, look how the sunlight comes through here. Look at the trees that are growing here. And I think for the husband in this story, though, I think, in this chapter, I think for him, it gives him peace to be able to go kind of commune with her. I could see that. I think that would, I think I would really like that. Okay, so chapter 9, right? So chapter 9 was the natural cemetery. Oh, with regard to the backyard cemetery, again, that's one of those that I was like, really? You can do that? And I know you can't in most suburban areas. You've got to be way out in the country. But there's surprisingly few restrictions in some of these places, which is kind of weird to me. But so the natural cemetery. So this one was a bit harder for me to read because it was a woman that had lost her son, and she kind of described him like Brandon, sensitive, kind of a hippie. And they, he wanted everyone wearing tie-dye shirts. Chris, the son, which, we had Brandon at his viewing and cremated in his oh my gosh, Pink Floyd t-shirt, his khaki shorts, and his hat that he always wore, his beanie hat, because that was Brandon. I didn't put him in a suit. And a lot of people, commented on that, like how neat that was. I'm really glad that we did that. And so this chapter, I think Brandon, I don't know that Brandon was especially earth conscious per se. Brandon would have totally dug this natural cemetery. I can totally see him, saying, yeah, bury me in a bean pod, or, let me nourish the trees, or, something of the like. So him. And I love that this talked about the rare species of flowers that grew there. And he talked about the Native Americans and the Four people, and how, they used fertilizer. They made fertilizer with fish, how they were so ahead of the time, understanding what really nourishes the soil. And it's very affordable. And I think, so currently I have Brennan's ashes in a beautiful urn, in a box, in a closet, because I'm afraid I can't look at it. And I'm terribly afraid that if it's not around the bubble wrap, like, there will be some strange act of God or nature and it will break it. I don't know. It's some weird thing. Don't ask me. So I think this is such a fabulous thing, because you go, you see these beautiful trees and flowers and this area. That same thing with this one. They found this area, like they just knew, like there's an opening in the, there was a clearing in the trees, and they look at what's growing nearby. I thought it was so neat, and that's so great. It's so affordable. I really liked this. It was really hard for me to get through the chapter, but I did. I'm going to pause you for a second again. Yes, I remember one thing about this chapter that made me laugh. Something else. I can remember the ones from the other ones, but oh my goodness. You can totally see this being the way they were talking, and then like, yeah, down this, down the holler pretty much, where they filmed Deliverance. Like, that's just, and you know what? My son would totally snicker at that. He would totally snicker at something like that. He had a great sense of humor. And I think this is something that should catch on a lot. And maybe it will only happen in the tree hugger states. I don't know. But what a fabulous thing, really. Okay, I have another long video, so that's it. Hopefully I did the assignment right. Sorry about the dog.